Greetings, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Dreamscapes. Today we have guest dreamer Yahshua Meshalak. Sorry, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. He can correct me. Out of the Auburndale, Florida area. We're going to get right back to him in 2 seconds. Would you kindly like, share, subscribe, tell your friends? Always need more volunteer dreamers. You see, last week I had no episodes, and so it just happens. Dreams come in their own time. Can't control it, so I just roll with it. Wow. This episode brought to you in part by, I think it's ABC Book 5, Oniro Chronologia, Volume 3, the third and final compilation work of the anthology trilogy, where I collect shorter works of historical dream literature to ensure they are not lost to time, and to give you a thick book of true value that you can enjoy. Highly recommended all three books, but I do have 17 works of historical dream literature, so you can pick and choose. There's guaranteed to be something in there that fits your unique understanding and perspective on dreams. Man, I haven't done the introduction in a couple of weeks now. I can't remember what to say. I suppose all this and more at BenjaminTheDreamWizard.com, including downloadable MP3 versions of this very podcast. And if you'd head on over to BenjaminTheDreamWizard.locals.com, it's attached to my Rumble. It's free to join. I don't even ask for any money. That's where I would like to source most dreamers. So let's build a community there where we can talk about dreams, and you can share yours with me and the world. That is enough shilling out of me. We're going to get back to our friend Yahshua. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. So Grand Ride, God.
Wonderful.
Yeah, man.
Wonderful. Well, he is at Lot Kilo on the X platform. So if you want to follow him there, that link will be in the description below. Our friend isn't a content creator of any kind, like I very often interview. So we're going to skip the interview portion in the beginning, where we talk about his work or his book or his podcast or whatnot, which doesn't exist. So we're gonna get straight into the dream stuff. So my process is I shut up and listen. Our guest dreamer tells me their experience of the dream, and then we talk about it and see if we can figure it out together. So I'm ready when you are.
It's a 3-sequel dream, right? So the first dream I don't remember. The second dream I was fighting too sharp. I killed one, the other one got away. Then me and somebody else, which was a blue being, we lifted a blue car out of dirty water. After we lifted out of dirty water, I was on top of a mountain with a spear by myself. And then after that dream, me and my cousin was fighting. And when you do a fight in a dream, you can't physically feel the punches and shit like that. And it be like, well, I ain't hurting him, but in that dream, I beat his ass, shit, and then I killed him, but I stopped fighting, man, helped him up. And that was the end.
Okay. So you said 3-sequence dream. The first one you don't remember. Fair enough. Just a fun fact about the Dream Wizard here. I don't remember most of my dreams. Last night I had a dream about Jordan Peterson. I actually remember enough to say he was in it. I was on a road trip with him going somewhere, and that's basically all I couldn't tell you any further details. That's what I remember about my dreams. Is so vague, but I have them. They do occur. Very, very interesting.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, it's not about me, but just to let you know. Sequence 1, you don't remember. Part 2. You're in fighting a shark, you said? A shark? We're getting a little...
Too short. One up, and the other one got away.
Okay. So you were fighting two sharks.
With the spill.
We had a little audio hiccup there. Fighting two sharks, you defeat one and one got away?
Yeah.
And where did the third section or sequence begin? Was it when you were on the mountaintop with the spear?
Nah, I was in the backyard. Me and my cousin was in the backyard. I was naked.
Okay. So part...
And I beat his ass.
Okay. All right. We got 1, 2, 3. Fascinating. That's you never know what you're going to get. Another tangent here. Why not? Last night I'm scrolling X, and I came across this compilation of like an 11-minute video of all these different AI videos linked together. And what I thought was the thought that occurred to me was just infinite nightmare machine. Some of these things were so bizarrely horrifying. And I'm like, this,
Yeah.
AI producing images, a sequence of moving images, so to speak, based on prompts there's actually a strong analogy to how dreams work. Our brain is doing something very similar. It has all these images stored up, and it's thinking through these processes, thinking through problems, trying to process what our experiences, and watching that video, I'm like, this is dreams. This is how dreams work. This is like machines dreaming. It's so bizarre, so bizarre. we're watching computers have a thought process, almost like we do, without purpose behind it necessarily.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to go off on so many tangents. I always do.
Nah, you're all right.
Well, if you yeah, go ahead.
Nah, you're all right.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Just for the audience's sake, we can always these videos are recorded. You're not watching this live, and so if there's ever a need to take a break to take care of personal stuff, I clear entire days for this stuff. I mean, we got to be done by like 5 p.m. Pacific for my video game streams. But and then to you, Yahshua specifically, if you need a break, let me know. We can always duck out for 10 minutes. I'll go smoke or something.
Yeah.
That's
I
okay.
already handle business.
I'm here for you. I'll
Let
adapt.
handle business. No, let handle business. We all right.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Okay. So let me start a new page here. We got just the baseline dream. Number 2. All right. So fighting 2 sharks. So I assume you're fighting the sharks in water.
Yeah, sir. He's in the water, ain't it?
Now, I say I assume because it could have been in the desert, and that would mean something completely different. It's like, okay, wait a minute, that is literally
Nah, it wasn't.
that's literally fish out of water stuff right there. Why is a shark in the desert? That's fascinating, but it makes sense. Sharks are in the water. Was it shallow water you were able to stand in, or was it deep water you were swimming in?
Nah. They were deep water. I had that spear I was talking about.
Okay. Now, what kind of spear was it? Was it the spearfishing spear, or actually just like a regular spear?
Yeah, like a wooden spear with like one of them sharp pointed things on the top made out of rock. Stone.
What was the top made out of, you said?
Like stone.
Okay. So it was almost like a primitive spear. Like handmade?
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Gotcha. With a stone tip. Interesting. That evokes kind of caveman imagery versus, say, I've been playing the game Black Myth Wukong, and there's staff and spears in the game, and when I think of spear, what jumps into my mind is from the game, like a metal tipped Chinese style spear that some of the enemies have. But again, not my dream. None of this is in my head. So very, very interesting on that one. How did you interact with the sharks? Like, what was the sequence of events where did they attack you, or did you initiate?
Yeah, like it was like they were trying to bite me, and I drew one of them in the throat, but man, the other one got away. You feel me? Okay. But this was in October 2022. The dream was.
Okay, that might be relevant later on. We're going to talk about that too. Throat. Okay. And was that the full sequence, the escape of the shark, the second shark, and then suddenly you're somewhere else?
No, I was living in the blue car, the dirt, the water. The end of the sequence is when I'm on top of the mountain.
Okay, so what happened?
But I was living in the blue car.
Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. So the the sequence of events is you're in deep water. You've got your rudimentary cavemanish spear with the stone tip. You're attacked by two sharks. You stab one of them in the throat. They're trying to bite you. The other one runs away, escapes. And then what happens next is you said something about a blue cloud.
Car. It was a blue car. I live in a blue car. I dare the water, and I look over to my right, and there was a blue being next to me, helping me lift it up out the water. Like it was, I was swimming. We were swimming the car out of the water together.
You said a car, C-A-R, a car?
Yes, sir.
So there was a blue car
Yes, sir.
in the water. And
Yes, sir.
so it was where or how did you see it? Was it like sitting at the bottom? Was it moving through the water? Was it floating?
Nah, I just was just lifting it up.
You were lifting it up?
The water, like something like me and somebody else, the blue being I told you about. The blue being I said that was beside me when I looked over.
The blue Ben? Sorry, a blue man?
Yeah. I said a being, but you could say it like that if you want to. It was just it was a blue being. It's the man shape. Yeah, it was like a man shape form, but it ain't had no skin, no none of that, and just a blue. It was just blue.
So
blue and black.
You got a little bit of an accent. I'm having trouble parsing, so it's not your fault. Bear? You sound like a blue bear, or like a blue. I'm hearing blue bin, like a recycling can. I'm so sorry.
Oh, being.
Oh, a being. Gotcha. That's my fault here with the accent. I can't always. Okay, so there was
you straight. I don't talk proper.
Oh, no worries. That's why we ask questions. So a blue being, but not. That's interesting too. It's like you're not saying a person necessarily. You're not saying a man as in what you're saying, like some kind of a blue being, and then this being is lifting the car out of the water. I think we had a freeze.
Yeah, it was right beside me.
Okay, so we got this blue being. It's right beside you, and then we had a little bit of an audio glitch. This being is lifting an automobile, a car, out of the water.
Yeah, we swimming it up out the water. Both of us is though.
You and the being get into the car, and the car drives out of the water, basically.
No.
Okay.
Hell no. Like you under a car. You under the car, you swimming it up. You feel me? You know how Superman picking up goddamn cars and stuff.
Gotcha. So right beside you. And then, so both of you are working together to lift this car out of the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. No worries. This is common. This is what I do. I'm like, I need to see what you're seeing, and I don't want to get it wrong because then I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing your dream. So I always ask these kind of questions, like, what am I? And I'm wrong most of the time. Like, wait, let me. This is what I see. That's not it. Good. Correct me, please. And then that was the end of that sequence, and then sudden fade to black scene change. You're on top of a mountain.
Dirty water too. You gotta put that dirty water in there too.
And there's dirty water.
Yeah, you gotta put that in there too.
No, for sure. I'm missing something. So that sequence comes next. The car gets out of the water.
No, we're lifting it out of dirty water.
Lifting it out of dirty water. Gotcha.
Like muddy water.
So when you say muddy water, it's obscured. It's like a cloud of dirt in the water, so you can't see very far.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Okay. Is there anything else specific that made the water dirty? Like when you think of dirty water, was it a specific kind of dirty?
No, just dark. It's dark and dirty.
So dark, obscure, that kind of dirty, that kind of
Yes, sir.
so you can't see very far. Limits vision. Yeah, so I like to do what's called counterfactuals. So I look at what it's not when you're describing things. So it's a specific kind of idea that water is dirty, as in full of dirt, silt, and we can see that in our head. That idea of you put your foot down at the bottom of a clear lake, and then all of a sudden a cloud of dust flies up in the water and turns the water opaque, dirty, so you can't see through it. Then there's different kinds of dirty water, like dirty water we'd think in a sewer. That's a specific kind of dirty. That's a human filth, kind of infectious, nasty dirty. This was a different. So this is more of like obscuring vision versus nasty, filthy dirty.
This was like the fish tank dirty.
Okay,
You was a fish tank, dirty fish tank.
gotcha. Like a fish tank. That is why I asked
Dirty
the
fish
questions.
tank.
So like fish tanks, when they get they haven't been cleaned in a while, or the filter's not working well and it's starting to get mossy, and there's little floaters in there, and gotcha. Okay, okay, that is one full sequence, and then that's the end of it.
Hold on. No, they ain't no. No, they ain't the end of that. The end of that was
that's right.
after we lit it up out. Yeah, after we lit it up out of the water, I was on top of the mountain with the spear. Just stand on top of the mountain with the spear.
So,
like Lion King type shit.
Gotcha. Do you have any idea how you got up to the mountain? Did you drive the car? Did you walk, or just suddenly you're just up there?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay. To help me see it a little more clearly, what did you see of the immediate surroundings on top of the mountain? Or is it just like this is trees on the mountain?
It was just the mountain. No, it wasn't no tree. It was just a mountain. Me with the spear and some cloud.
Flowers, you say?
Ain't had no shirt on. No clouds, and I ain't had no shirt on.
Okay, gotcha. There's a little bit of a sudden scene change there, which sometimes we might even consider this might even be the third section, and then the next one where you're fighting with your cousin is the fourth section. It's possible. Anytime it kind of fades to black and comes back, and we're just suddenly somewhere else, that's kind of its own thing. How were you feeling up there? Like, did you have any sensations or emotions standing up there?
No, not really. Shit.
It didn't feel like victory. It didn't feel like peace or serenity. It didn't feel like inspired by the view.
I felt like victory after I beat my cousin ass. That's when it felt like victory.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Then that might be that might feed into it as well. That there's maybe standing on the mountain being an aspirational place to arrive at, and so you show yourself there, maybe. And then there's a process you show yourself, which involves engaging with your cousin. The idea of, okay, well, how do I put myself on top of the mountain? And there's 99% chance this is not about you fighting your cousin. It's your cousin represents something else, some particular aspect of a problem you're working to solve in your head. But we're gonna get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So fighting in the water, it's deep water. You're not standing. You're swimming. You got this wooden spear, so you're armed, or at least you've got some, capability of defending yourself. It's a primitive spear. It's not. It's something that would be effective but simple, or nothing fancy, but gets the job done. There's danger in the water. The sharks, they try to bite you. You stab one of them in the throat. That's interesting too, and then that scares the other one away. You demonstrate this ability to effectively protect yourself, and the other one goes, I don't want any of that. Takes off, and then that triggers the response of this blue being that helps you lift a car out of the water together. It's like maybe you couldn't do it on your own, but now you've got this help that's there, and it's blue like water, almost like it's made of the water in a way. I don't know what it feels like this creature is. Any thoughts?
No, I ain't like it made out of water. It was like Shit, like a soul,
We got a small
like
audio.
a spirit.
We got a
I don't
small
even want to
audio
know you
hiccup.
can see through from there.
Sorry,
Nah, it
I
was
gotta have you tell me again.
like a soul.
Like a soul.
It was like a soul. It looked like a soul, a spirit. It
Oh,
was, yeah. It wasn't really see through. It wasn't see through. It was blue, man. Like when it's blue on the outside, when you get down to the middle and the center, it get darker. So it's like you can't see through the. You can't. It's not
Gotcha.
transparent.
Not fully transparent. Did it glow at all? Did it have that kind of like spirit looking glow to the exterior, to the skin or whatever?
Nah,
Nothing like that.
that's
Okay,
regular.
but that's interesting. It feels like a soul or a spirit. You know, it's not exactly a physical being. It's more an idea or an essence. There's something you need to help you complete this task, this lifting of the car. And why a car in the water? That's not something you find in the water very often. You find sharks in the water, but a car. When you think of this car being in the water, why was it there? What was the purpose of the object being a car? Anything come to mind?
Oh, I don't interpret. Listen,
Yeah.
I ain't no dream interpreter, but after I had this dream, I woke up and interpreted for some reason. I don't wake up and interpret dreams, you feel me? But I wake up and interpreted one this one time, and yeah, I know what it was. They just, yeah.
This is a tough one here for me, and no, this happens all the time, but not all the time. It's more rare, but sometimes people get a dream and they wake up and they're like, "I know exactly what that meant." Wow, and it's nice to have that kind of clarity. Sometimes that's actually I
Oh
would.
no, I had a book. I didn't know what it meant.
Oh,
I had
okay.
a book. I didn't know what it meant.
You went looking.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the people I stayed with, the people I stayed with was firm believers in that type of stuff. They
Okay.
was Christians and they Christians, so
All right. I got one of those books too. It's ABC Book 2, The Mystery of Dreams. It's a Christian preacher from the 1600s doing a sermon on how to tell if a dream was sent by God or the devil. Very interesting work there. So I respect all the different traditions. And then, of course, I've got my own way. Well, what I was going to describe was the idea that sometimes people have a pretty good idea of what the dream is. Or maybe you don't, but then they bring it to me and they're like, okay, I'm not going to tell you what my conclusion was. I'm going to let you tell me what you think, and then we'll compare the two. So that's always fun too. It doesn't happen all the time, but I love it when it does. It's not it's rare, but it's not uncommon. Happens a lot. Dry mouth today.
that's what you want me to do.
In some ways, yeah. Like, don't help me too much. I mean, if I ask you specific questions, like what comes to mind when you think of the car, and you have an idea, go ahead. That's not the same thing as giving me the answer at the end. You know, the conclusion of the full thing. So yeah, what did you make of the car?
I ain't. Yeah, I ain't had no idea, but I know what it is now. But it was the world. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know nothing.
Okay.
I looked it up, but so yeah, the world, the world.
World. So that felt right to you when you looked at the possible meaning suggested by the book. When you came across that, it says, yeah, it's like lifting up the world.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. I mean, symbols can mean anything, and it's always personal. So if you're looking at that, like, so what does it mean to need spiritual help lifting up the world? You've got something. It doesn't belong there in the water. It's a car. Cars don't belong in the water, so you need to get it out. It can't be useful to you in the water. It can't take you anywhere. It doesn't function in that environment. So you're using this maybe as a metaphor for, engaging with the world, being effective in the world, tackling worldly problems, and am I going anywhere that like feels right to you with this description?
You want me to tell you how I interpret it? You want me to tell you how I interpret?
Yeah, maybe just that portion. What do
I
you
looked
think?
up this.
We had a small glitch there. I think you're back.
Yeah, um, yeah.
I'm here now. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Say that. Shit.
Oh, I broke up too.
I don't
It's
know how to put it. What you?
audio
Nah,
pro.
you ain't break up. I said
Okay.
I don't really know how to put. I don't know how to put it, but
Yeah, take your time.
it, it sounds similar like that. It's similar like that. It's like when I went to interpret it, I just put the blue car, what it said the blue car was that's in the world in place of the car. And I put the interpretation of the dirty water, which was sin, in
Okay.
place of the dirty water. So that's how I was interpreting it. So it's like lifting up the world out of sin with the blue being, which is the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost.
Okay. No, that works. I like that. Um, I'm writing that down. Lifting the world out of sin with the Holy Ghost. That I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So the beginning portion of it then is more personal. It seems like, and the other one is more spiritual,
Yeah,
aspirational. So the beginning is you're a.
it
Go ahead.
it was I was in a relationship, right? And it say I was working into it at the time. So it said when finna come to an end. It's for the two sharks I killed. I mean for the one shark I killed and one got away, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it was like one finna come to an end, a job or relationship. Shit, both of them bitches end up coming to an end. That's how that ended up working.
Gotcha. So did you have any idea of what you were doing in the water before you were attacked by the sharks? Like, were you there for a reason that you knew?
Nah.
You were just
Yeah, I was just fighting, yeah.
you're just in there, and then bam,
Yeah.
you're in a struggle for survival. Um, there's interesting things like you weren't on land and you weren't in outer space. So this is what I do the counterfactual thing. I'm like, okay, what was it not? So waters humans have a very specific relationship with water. It's like we need it to live, got to drink water. Too much of it and you drown. And large bodies of water are very dangerous because we're not water-based creatures. We don't have flippers and gills, and so we are vulnerable in the water. It's like that's not our element. We're really good. You meet a shark on land, you got the advantage. You meet a shark in the ocean, you in trouble. He's got the advantage. So you're in there. You're in water that's over your head. You're you know in that analogy type sense. Our brains love puns and analogies like that. So you're in water that could be over your head if you were underneath it, and you're vulnerable, uniquely vulnerable in that environment to the most dangerous of predators. But you've got a weapon, you've got the means to protect yourself, you've got some defense, but it's very simple, rudimentary. It wasn't a spear gun. You didn't have magic powers. I mean, again, the counterfactuals. But it manages to get the job done, and demonstrating your ability to protect yourself effectively deters the other predators. And then once you've it's almost like you're vulnerable. We all are as like the human condition. But if you've got the right tools and you take the right action, you can protect yourself. Then it shifts over to raising the world out of sin with the power of the Holy Ghost. Is like if I can just keep myself safe, I can focus on more important things. I can do good in the world. Is all of that feeling right, or am I way off track on my description?
As for me, all I could explain was I didn't really feel vulnerable, but I guess you could say, yeah, you're vulnerable. You ain't got the advantage. So
Fair enough. Maybe vulnerable's a judgment call on
I wasn't scared of nothing though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you didn't feel like you were incapable of handling the situation. And that's good. That's actually good. That's like, um, what am I trying to say? It's like you know the danger's there, and you know you're going to have to do something about it, but you're not frozen in fear. You just take care of business. You handle what you got to handle, even though you know you're in a dangerous environment. And sometimes you got to. And it's interesting. You stabbed the shark. You didn't stab him in the fin, in the tail, in the gut. You stabbed him specifically in the neck, which also wasn't stabbing you in the mouth. Could have been like he's coming at you, jaws open. You hit him in the mouth. You hit him like up underneath in the neck.
No.
No?
In the throat, in the mouth.
Oh, you did. So he did have his mouth open, and you.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That is a very direct. What am I trying to say?
Benjamin the Dream Wizard wants to help you pierce the veil of night and shine the light of understanding upon the mystery of dreams. Every episode of his Dreamscapes program features real dreamers gifted with rare insight into their nocturnal visions. New Dreamscapes episodes appear every week on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and other video hosting platforms, as well as free audiobooks exploring the psychological principles which inform our dream experience, and much, much more. To join the wizard as a guest, reach out across more than a dozen social media platforms and through the contact page at benjaminthedreamwizard.com, where you will also find the wizard's growing catalog of historical dream literature available on Amazon, documenting the wisdom and wonder of exploration into the world of dreams over the past 2,000 years. That's Benjamin the Dream Wizard on YouTube and at benjaminthedreamwizard.com.
Confrontational approach, the staring danger in the open shark tooth mouth, and what you're going to do is go right at it. You didn't dodge and come up underneath. You didn't stab him in the side. You went straight for the throat in the open mouth. That's a very direct approach. I don't know what more to say about it. When you think about, were you just kind of forced into that because this is happening and I got to stab him somewhere?
Yeah, I felt like this shit either me or them. Really?
Okay, you did what had to be done in the
Like
situation.
too short, just circling me.
Yeah, and then they come at you and try to bite. For sure,
yeah.
That's a fantastic metaphor for just life in general. We are a person in deep water, struggling to stay afloat, and there's sharks everywhere, and sometimes they're going to try and bite us, and sometimes you got to defend yourself. And yeah, no, that's just in general a powerful metaphor for like life. This is what we all have to deal with. Welcome to being alive. Everything's trying to kill you. Good luck. I'm saying
you're right.
And then you have kind of a scene change. So you get through all this, and so you've got this metaphor for the human struggle for survival. You've got a metaphor for focusing on effectively partnering with the Holy Spirit to lift the world out of the dirty water, the sin of the world. So you've got this aspirational focus, like, what am I doing with my life? Surviving isn't enough. There's got to be, I need a purpose. There's more important things to be done than just stabbing sharks to try not to die. And moving through that puts you to a place where you're like, well, where am I heading? What's the point of all this? I want to be up on the mountaintop. And that, the mountaintop type of, and you've got your spear with you, and you've got your shirt off, and I assume shirt off in the water too, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of carrying through that. Fair enough. You could have been dressed again, counterfactuals, in a spacesuit, in a grass skirt like you do in the hula. Who knows? But it was just shirtless on the mountaintop. There's something about that that's a very like Conan the Barbarian masculine type of thing of like, shirt off, spear, conqueror on the mountaintop.
Skirt.
No grass
With
skirt.
the little squirt.
Yep. So yeah, and so that's like again focusing to where is this, if I do this, if I move with the Holy Spirit and lift the world out of sin, it will put me as if on the mountaintop. And mountaintop means a lot of different things. It is king of the mountain. I'm at the highest point. I've achieved many things. We always think of up as better or good or moving forward, progress, different things like that. But it's also the place. Mountaintops are very spiritually symbolic as well, because they're the place you can see everything. You get that vantage point of looking down, not looking down in a negative way like I'm better than, but like clear vision type of way. When you think of being on the mountaintop as clear vision to get the lay of the land, does that feel right, or am I going the wrong way with that?
No, that's all right. And like conquer the world type shit.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we discussed that earlier, or at least I'd suggested that what was
Now you asked me how I felt, but how I think about it, yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Well,
You
then,
asked me how.
yes, I did, and again, I'm not trying to substitute my own understanding for yours. It's not my dream, so none of this is in my head. None of the answers are either. So definitely, yeah, I ask, and then you give me, this is how I felt. So yeah, definitely conquering, and that is, if you're successful in this endeavor of partnering with the Holy Spirit to lift the world out of sin, that's a conquest of a kind. It's imposing your will on the world. It's prevailing over struggles, and that's definitely being on the mountain. Take me to the mountaintop, that kind of thing. But you show yourself there, and the dream continues into the next sequence where you're struggling with your cousin. Oh, you need a minute? $12.49.
All right. All right.
Do you need a moment, or we're back?
Yeah. Let me text my baby mama to bring my son.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, take your time.
She had called me, messing up my video.
Life happens. These are the struggles. That's all right. I'll probably take, I might leave it in. It depends. Sometimes I'll cut out a chunk, same difference as taking like a 2-minute break, and then I do little edits and no one even knows.
You can leave it in, I might.
It was quick, and we talked it through anyway, so it's interesting for people to hear what happens. Okay. So there's usually a connected series of thoughts. Like dreams, they're bizarre and weird, and we don't even realize how strange it is. Like, what the hell am I doing in the water? And then how did I get on a mountaintop? Doesn't have to make any sense in a practical, physical, real world sense. But they always connect logically in the thoughts. So that's what I'm trying to do when I'm putting these things together, is like, why did you see that? What were you thinking about that made that connection make sense? And there's this sequence of events going from, and again, I'm repeating myself, but it's good to kind of lay it all out there. How do I engage with life? The dangers and the struggles we all got to go through. What is my direction, my purpose, the partnering with the Holy Spirit, raise the world out of sin? And where does that take me? It takes me to the mountaintop, but that's not the end of it. I can't live on the mountaintop. There's no other people there with me. It's great to live in, to have moments of victory. But then what do I think? It's kind of like Moses. He's got to come back down from the mountain and take the word to the people. So if you're like, okay, if I succeed, now what do I do? I gotta bring this back to my family, my friends, and maybe that's where the cousin comes in. And so the sequence on the mountaintop is very brief. It's just you there, very strong image of that. You didn't do anything else while you were up there?
No.
Okay.
I ain't nothing. I got taking a picture. Like I was posing for a picture or something.
You were posing for a picture on the mountaintop?
Like,
feels like it. Okay. That is unique too. It's like I think that feeling fits with it. It's like capturing the moment, like making a mental note in a way, like saying, don't forget this. Take it with you. Take some evidence that this happened, and bring it back with you. But also, posing for a picture is like you're going to share it with other people. It's maybe, what do? When we're communicating with folks, we're saying, look where you can be, look what you can accomplish, or look what I've done so that maybe you would listen to my advice, and I can tell you how to get to the mountain too. There might be all of that wrapped up in the picture element of it, but there's no one there to photograph you, to take a picture. No, fair enough. But you just had that feeling of like, gotcha. And then fade to black, scene change. You're in your backyard. Your backyard? Or?
Yeah. Well, I was living there at the time.
Okay. Gotcha. And this was, is it okay to say whose house it was? That might be relevant. It might not.
It was a woman named Miss Erin.
Okay, well, yeah, we don't. I didn't need a name, but thank you. I meant like, yeah, I'm staying with a friend, family. So staying with a romantic interest.
Shit, they were strangers at the time.
Okay. And so you're in this backyard, and specifically your cousin is there.
But they were my girl. They were my girl people though, but they were strangers. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. If you describe it to me, was anyone else there? Was it just you and your cousin in the backyard?
Yeah, we were just fighting shit. Like I felt the punches.
Okay.
Beat his ass. And he was on the ground bleeding. So I reached out my hand and helped him up and start fighting.
I'm writing this down again. Oh, I write so slow.
Good.
So, and I think one of the details you mentioned was that you were now completely naked in this part of the dream.
Yeah.
And that's,
yeah.
That has a very powerful symbolic reference, I think, for people to. We mentioned vulnerability, but it's not just the vulnerability of being, say, without armor. It's the vulnerability of complete honesty in a way. It's like, look, I'm not wearing anything that covers me, that hides anything. I am disclosing everything. I'm telling you the full, complete truth. Does that feel right in that section? That's what.
Yeah, I ain't look at it like that. I ain't even look that up.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Yeah. There's that. Not always. Like if I say that and you go, no, it was something else, I go with your understanding. But if I say something, you're like, yeah, that feels right. So I think that's that's a good way to look at that type of thing. It's like, and there's this communication process, and it links to that idea of, I'm on the mountain. Now I got to go back to the real world and bring this message. What do I do? Okay, naked, the full, unhidden truth. I'm going to tell it like it is. And you're in this fight, and you've got I'm going to assume you don't regularly, or at the time you weren't regularly fighting with your cousin. You didn't have throwdown, fist fights with your cousin, right?
Nah.
Did you have a generally good relationship with him? I mean,
yeah.
Okay, good deal. So this is definitely like, this is not a physical fight. You're not fighting for your life. You're not defending yourself. He's not a shark. But this fight it feels more like a metaphor for confrontation, for disagreement, for a contest of ideas. Does that feel more right to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting to fight somebody, but I ain't getting one yet, so I guess so.
Good deal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you're seeing a physical representation of a fight, but this is more of a verbal argument. This is more of a contest of ideas. Like, so if what you're showing yourself, it seems to me, is more like, I've been to the mountain, you come back, let me tell you about it, let me convince you that my way is the best. And what you show yourself is having the ability to defeat him in this contest of ideas, of verbal argument, and what you do, he ends up with a visual representation of having been defeated on the ground, blood. That's with the fist fighting thing. But what do? You go to lift him up again. You're like, I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to help you, to save you. So you offer him a hand, and he takes it, and you help him up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then anything happened after that?
I woke up.
That was the end of the dream. How did you feel when you woke up? I
felt good. I felt new. I felt good. I felt new. I felt like a new person. But then I wasn't even crippled no more. I used to be crippled in my left side, and I wasn't even crippled no more from a dream.
Tell me a little bit about that. What was the left side crippling? What?
See, I couldn't walk. I could barely walk, but I couldn't run no more. I couldn't jump. I used to do bike flips and play football and basketball. I couldn't do none of that, but it was only for a year. It was one night I had a stroke when I had an abscess. I had an abscess on my gum, and it was black. It was a black abscess. I don't know how it got black. But when I was sleeping, I swallowed it. Felt like I thought I had died, but I woke up next morning and I was crippled. Like, my left lower side lost nerves. I couldn't control my nerves. My leg usually, it started shaking. Like, after that, it started shaking and shit like that. But after a year, that happened in October 2021. After a whole year, in October 2022, I had that dream. And I wasn't here no more. After I got off work, I went and shot a little basketball, jogged down the road.
Wow. So you went to bed that night with your left side having nerve trouble and shaking, having difficulty controlling your muscles. You woke up in the morning and it was just done, gone.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die from that.
Wow. So you thought the stroke and the effects of that, the physical effects on your left side, was going to kill you?
Yeah.
It's not waking up from the dream you thought it was going to kill you.
Nah.
No. That's when you woke up, feeling good, felt like a new person, and then you realized your physical symptoms. That's amazing. Here's the thing.
Listen.
Go ahead.
After that dream, I started cussing for 5 days straight. I started smoking weed 2 a.m. Black of Miles. It is. I used to cuss like a sailor. But I just started cussing out of the blue. Straight out of the blue. That was amazing. 5 days straight, pure.
So for 5 days after the dream, you started cussing more or stopped completely? I didn't
No,
hear.
I stopped completely.
And you said you used to smoke a lot of weed, but during that period, you also quit that? Just stopped?
Yes, sir. But I smoke now.
Gotcha. Well,
KJ and
You need a minute?
No. I sent him. My son was in there. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That is amazing. So let's put that aside for 2 seconds. The physical, that's amazing. I want to talk about that. But do you feel like we tracked a reasonable arc for the story of this dream and what's happening? Does it sound like what we've described so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just checking in because that's all what I'm trying to do is like, what is the thought process we're looking at? What is the what is the story? What is the dream saying, or what happens, and what does it actually mean? Of course, that's dream interpretation, but it should connect. It should make sense. So you've got this very, very powerful imagery all the way through it. Very deeply meaningful, personal stuff to the core of what you're dealing with in life. And coming out of it, so we'll stop there. We'll say dream solved in that sense. I mean, we think we got a reasonable story that makes sense. All the elements fit together and connect. The dots connect. But this physical side of things, so you are not the only person who has reported the cessation of physical symptoms, the cure of an ailment after a dream and waking up and it's just gone. This is in my dream books that I've produced. Lots of stories of very similar things, physical problems being diagnosed in dreams and then treated, and also people waking up from dreams like problem solved, and they don't know why. It's like, what? How does that even happen? I don't know. That's some amazing supernatural shit that I'm like, I can't tell you. I couldn't predict it. I couldn't tell you how to make it happen, but I believe it. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I believe the stories in the book. I believe the people telling those stories are not lying. I believe you are not lying. This happens to people. I can't explain it. Did you talk to anyone about it and get their stories? Did you more people tell you that they had similar things happen? I think you might be frozen again. I'm sorry.
No, talk to people about, nobody said nothing about the healing part, but I had other people tell me their interpretation. Well, one person tell me their interpretation of it. I ain't never had nobody else.
Gotcha. What did that person tell you was their interpretation? How did they what conclusion did they give you?
It was nice. It was decent. They was on the right path, I guess. Yeah, it was good.
Did they get something similar to what we got out of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were talking about marine water. Like, she was talking about something like, basically like, demon shit. That was she was speaking on, demons. She said the sharks were demons. That's what she was saying.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, she did good. She did good. She did good.
That's pretty interesting. And they very well can be. I mean, angels and demons are, I think people don't understand what they really are in a way. Like, and I'm barely starting to get a grip on how those things work, but there are forces in the world. And I believe very strongly now more than ever that demon possession is real, that people get possessed by the spirit of, let's say the 7 deadly sins. They get possessed by the spirit of lust or greed or wrath, and that possession drives them and dominates their choices. And whether you think it is a physical being that can appear and touch you or not, it is, that's one of the main dangers we face in the world, is other people possessed by demonic forces, in the sense that they're not seeing you. They're not there to help you. They're there to get what they want from you. And if it hurts you, so be it. And a lot of people act like sharks when they're possessed, by these. And in the same way, you can get possessed by angels. You can invite angels into the spirit of mercy and forgiveness and generosity. These are, I think, real spiritual forces and we get the beautiful thing. Demons and angels can't possess you without permission. They don't. You have to invite them in, and people do. They give themselves over to these forces, and you want to make sure you're inviting in the right forces. You're inviting in the spirit of generosity and goodness into your life, and not demonic forces. I'm going to shut up for a second there. I don't know if that's your understanding of it. Oh, we got an audio glitch.
That wasn't my. I know what you mean, but that wasn't my understanding of my dream interpretation. No.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm speaking generally now, more than specifically for you. But it very well could be. I mean, the idea of, I hadn't thought of it, and that sparked that whole side train of thought. But the idea that, sure, sharks could represent demonic forces in the world, and you're vulnerable to these things, and they will attack you. They love nothing more than hurting and causing pain and destruction. That's like the essence of the demonic. So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the whole shark thing. Any other elements that this person told you that were a little different than mine, or added some insight that I didn't have?
No.
Nothing comes to mind. Okay. Excuse me. Well, that's fine. I'm just curious. I tell folks too. I mean, I've got my own way. I've got my own method. I've got my own insights. I'm not the only one. I'm not the end all be all of the final word on dreams. Now, maybe I know more than most people, but there's a lot of people that have lived with this information and studied it themselves, and they're going to have maybe a unique twist on things. So, talk to more than one person. Talk to me. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. But you can also ask your friends and your family. Share these experiences and say, you know, I
But
want to understand. Go ahead.
yeah, this a thing. On my poster though, I ain't put blue bean. I put it was somebody beside me, and she interpreted that part too. And said, and there's somebody else type shit. I had to tell her it wasn't no physical being, no physical flesh person. It
Gotcha.
wasn't nobody with a face. So I had to tell her that and fix that. So that was a little off too from her. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good. That's the value in talking about this stuff with other people is they ask you questions that you hadn't considered. It's like, oh, I hadn't really looked twice at that. Let me look at it, and then I can give you an answer now that I think about it. That's good too. It's very likely we get the good answer. You know, you said Holy Spirit, absolutely, but it's also just the general idea of human beings are limited. Sometimes we need help, you know, and that help is not, it doesn't have to be a specific person, but the idea of a second person, the idea of help itself, the idea of in partnership with someone. But then that someone can also be the Spirit of God, you know, the Holy Spirit itself, giving us the strength we wouldn't have alone to lift a car out of the water. That's something that you don't think a human being can do on their own. But, you know, then you get the concept, and this is how our brain works too. All things possible with God, that kind of a thing. If that's a part of your belief system, you're going to see that in that representation. Here's something I could never do alone, but with the help of the Holy Spirit, it becomes possible. Yeah, if that's your understanding, that's what you're going to see.
yeah, I started playing with clouds and stars and I.
Do you did you talking about like trying to move clouds with your mind type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to, I don't know if you hear the show Timcast. He's got this guy on there by the name of Ian, who's he's an interesting character. He's not Doug. He's a bit hippy dippy and into the magic stuff. And he says he can call weather and dissipate it, and he says he has some
Yeah, make the
evidence.
rain stop and make the rain go away and
Yeah. Now I don't know. See, again, I believe people when they tell me things, but I couldn't explain it, and I can't make it happen myself. So, but there's a grand tradition of this going back to all kinds of native or Indian or indigenous people traditions of shamans having this abilities that people can't explain. I don't know that it's not true. I don't know. We got stories, and I would love to see it happen, and I would love us to be able to see. I don't think there's a difference between science and magic. I think magic is just processes we haven't yet described by the scientific method. So I think if we can prove this stuff and the conditions it happens under, then we realize magic is real, man.
yeah, I don't know nothing about. I don't know how to do no magic, but I know about some voodoo. But I don't do no magic. I just do that universal stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah. And
Like changing, like changing $1 bill into $100 bill. I do stuff like that.
Oh, like a magic trick, like a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
No. Well, I think of like magic as like, it's hard to describe. Not just sleight of hand stage magic. I mean, like real. I think of ideas as magical. So, for example, before you don't know something, and then after you know it, where did that come from? What happened between the knowing and the not knowing? There's a magic in that gap that we don't understand. Where do new ideas come from? Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. They just appear as if put there by something else. I think there's magic in that. That's the kind of magic I'm talking about. And magic also relates to understanding concepts properly. As people think of alchemy as, just trying to pour chemicals together. Well, alchemy became chemistry, and now we can invent all kinds of things. We didn't have plastic in the world until we figured out how to make it. But alchemy is also philosophical. It's about the concept of transformation. We can transform ourselves. We can go from one person to a different kind of person. There's a magic in that transformation that we can accomplish, if we have the right mindset and the right understanding of the process. I see you're muted. I'll give it a moment. We're almost done anyway. We're about up to
Yeah, I'm muted. I got this right here. Then go back over. But I don't know too much about no alchemy.
Fair enough.
I know I just, this came out of nowhere. I just started that out of nowhere. I just stare at the stars in the clouds. Eventually, it just moving. I really don't know. What is you doing?
We got a little.
That chick is open.
He wants to be on the video too. He's got things to say. We had a little bit of audio glitch there, but I heard what you were saying. It's you maybe haven't studied some of these things as much as I have. I got all these words and ideas about it, but I guess the final thing to do is to wrap up is to show, you said after this experience you had a physical change in your body. Something happened that healed you, and then for several days afterwards you had a behavioral change as well, where you're like, the urge to say cuss or smoke weed was gone. And what I would ask then is, what else changed about your life? How did you put this experience into practice in a way that changed how you behave or interact with the world? What would you say?
Man, before that dream, I was hearing voices. I started hearing voices back in March 2022, right? And I was dealing with that all year, and I was going crazy from that. I ran around with a gun trying to figure out who my old lady, who disrespected me with my old lady, but I ain't never figured out who it was. And it's like, after I had that dream, I had put the gun down, and I started stressing about the voices. It was like I was in control of the voices. I could handle them now. That's how that felt. And we ended up breaking up. After we broke up, go back to my house. Right in the house with a hole in the roof, rain come through. And I used to pop X pills at the time being, so I started moving the clouds. Like when it rains, I moved from over the house. So rain won't get in the house. Like that. Just sit out the door, fire all night, fire and start.
We're getting some of that audio glitch happening again. Sorry. I think the Wi-Fi's got to catch up. It might be sorting itself out. I'm getting little moments. Sorry. This happens. It's not, not anybody's fault. I think it's catching up. Oh, I think you're back. Wow, that was a long one. Yeah. I see you now. That happens. I was having internet problems last night too. My video game stream crashed. Just it couldn't keep broadcasting. I don't know what it was. It's never happened before. My machine was fine. I think it was just internet problems. It happens. So I was asking you about how things changed after the dream, and it seems like before it, you were under a tremendous amount of stress. There was a lot of threats in the world. There was the voices and the relationship problems, and you almost did something permanently terrible and maybe hurt your life moving forward. But after the dream, did anything change? You were describing that the voices stopped, the physical symptoms, but like behavior, like your new mindset of what am I trying to say? Like a different approach to how you're engaging with life. Like an epiphany that says, okay, I got to do something different. So now I'm going to do it this way. What do you think?
I was just trying to figure out, after that happened, I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do next, what I was going to do next.
Yeah.
But I just started moving by the spirit, but man, my mind was like a calculator. Man, I used to like calculate, then I used to watch movies or watch somebody play video game, and I just get all the knowledge from out of it while I'm watching it. Like Mortal Kombat, I watched my cousin play Mortal Kombat, and then this experience all like shit like that out the blood. I don't know, quit on my job 'cause I had started to walk home from work. I say I walked 2 days and I quit. So I ain't walking no more. But then I ended up trying to work again. And I ended up working at Applebee's. But I'm in there watching the fire, trying to play with the fire while the people cook. So I ended up quitting that too. I said, so I just started working.
Gotcha. So the change of mindset appears to be, a refocus on trying to walk with the spirit, trying to be like, let me become more of an agent of God in the world.
Nah, like I am, Christ, Messiah. That's what it came to be.
Okay.
That's why I said came to be.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think that's very.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Nah.
Okay. I think that is. We were talking about that, like the spirit you invite into you to possess you, to inhabit you, and that's the idea of, they say let Jesus into your heart, let God in, is to push out the evil. It's because they can't coexist in the same place at the same time. Where God is, the devil isn't, and vice versa. So if you open yourself up to that and you say, I'm going to let this be my guide, I'm going to let this show me the way, then that is what you will act out in the world. And I think that's what most people should do. If I'm going to tell people how to live, focus on the good stuff and letting the positive, and not just positive, but like spiritually meaningful good, the essence of good itself, motivate you. And like that's what I bring to these dream interpretation sessions. We're just two people talking about dreams, no big deal, but I want to give you something useful. I want to give you an understanding that then you can solve the mystery, and that just feels fun. It's just solving a puzzle, but also something you can take away with you and say, now that I have a clearer understanding of what I was thinking, now I can do something with it. And so what I'm opening myself up to is the spirit of being beneficial to you, to every dreamer in some way. And I hope that's what I accomplish through these things. Even if we never get an answer, as long as it was a fun experience and you learned something along the way, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, sir.
Good deal. Well, I don't need to keep you all day. I think we got a good discussion and a very interesting dream out of it. Yeah,
it's the prophecy.
Very nice. I appreciate it. Well, hey, let me do the I'm going to wrap it up and then we'll talk for a minute afterwards.
All right.
Sounds good. All right, good deal. Well, let me do this then. Where's my notes? This has been our friend Yahshua Meshalak from around the Auburndale, Florida area. You can find him at Lot Kilo on X. The link or that'll be written out in the description down below. Oh, well, yeah, it'll be a link. For my part, would you kindly like, share, subscribe, tell your friends? Always need more volunteer dreamers, viewers for the video game streams, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific-ish, or whenever I'm too drunk to keep playing, or I just get tired and my brain doesn't work anymore. This episode has been brought to you in part by ABC Book 5, Neurochronologia, Volume 3, the anthology, conclusion of the anthology set of shorter works of historical dream literature. You can find all this and more at BenjaminTheDreamWizard.com, including downloadable MP3 versions of this very podcast. Also, if you'd head on over to BenjaminTheDreamWizard.locals.com, it's attached to my Rumble account, and you can join the community there. And the last thing to say is, Yahshua, thank you for being here. Fascinating discussion. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody out there, Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.